Hi ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to IT Snippets. Today I'm going to show you how to recreate an intro like I have on my IT Snippets channel. We're going to do that in DaVinci Resolve, and we're going to do that right now. The first thing we have to do is open DaVinci Resolve. Okay, once DaVinci Resolve has opened up, what you need to do is create a new project. So you can double click Untitled Project. And the first thing you want to do with any new project is File and Save Project As. In this case, I'm going to go IT Snip and New Intro Tutorial, if I can spell new correctly. And if you hear a cat purring or what sounds like a cat purring in the background, that's Spike. He's saying hello. He seems to wait until I turn the microphone on, and then he decides to purr while I'm recording. So those of you familiar with Resolve will know the first thing we have to do is import our media. In my case, I'm actually going to use B-roll matrix fall.mp4, so I'm just going to drag that in there. You can add as many clips as you want. I'm actually going to use this one clip 4 times and change it slightly each time. So we'll go back to our edit panel and we shall open up our media pool and we should drag in our matrix B-roll. Just paste it in. Okay, at the moment that's running for about 40 seconds, give or take. So it's way too long for an intro, however this does give us room to play. So as you can see, it's taking up the full screen, and anyone who's seen my intro knows that it doesn't take up the full screen. So what we'll have to do is click here and go to transform and then select our clip. You can hold shift to keep the aspect ratio, and you can shrink this down. So we'll have to play with these a bit later on, and it'll look a little laggy because I'm obviously recording this tutorial at the same time, but that's us put one in. So we would then drag it over again. Let me zoom out a little bit because it seems to be having issues with that, just with the lag of me recording the tutorial too. I'll drop that in. Okay, and again you can see it's went full screen, so I can select it, hold shift, and then shrink it down again. Okay, basically what we're trying to do is shrink this down so that we have the 4 of them roughly about the same size on screen. Don't worry about the little gap here at the moment, we can fill that in once we've got all 4 loaded. So I shall try again. Holding shift, pulling a corner in and dropping it down. So the key here is to literally try and get it in around a quarter of the screen. The fact that it stays locked in the middle, although I'm sure I could probably move that, makes it a little more difficult. Okay, so we've got 3 of our 4. You'll understand why I'm not too worried about them not matching up in size in a moment, potentially. I can't believe how much more this system lags when I'm recording on OBS. It just shows you how heavy it's not working. Okay, so I'll just add video track. So I can right click and go to add track. Track 4 appears and then drag it. Select track 4 and shrink it down. Okay, so really what you're wanting is a slight overlap in these, and that includes it slightly scrolling off the bottom. And the reason for that is that it should make it easier to look stitched together. Although thanks to changes we make, it's not quite going to look that bad. So all I'm doing is trying to resize these to roughly about the same as each other. And again, trying to keep it slightly off. If you're just slightly out, it shouldn't be too bad. It's times like this I wish I had a more powerful PC. Okay. I'm just going to drag that down a bit. And I'll do the same with this one. I'll drag this one up a bit. Okay, so they don't quite perfectly match, right, but because of what we're going to do, that shouldn't be an issue. So we now have our 4 clips, and it'll probably drop a lot of frames, but if I try playing it, they play okay. So why would I care with 4 the exact same colour? I mean, it's not going to make a good intro even if I do add anything else to it. So first thing we need to do is mix this up a little, right? So the second clip, I'm going to right click, I'm going to real-time controls, I'm going to go down to the 100% down here, the little arrow next to it, I'm going to reverse segment. I'm going to go to number 3, and I'm going to do the same. Okay. So you probably can't pick that up in my microphone just now. The lag's really fighting me now because my reversing those 2 clips, the fans have kicked in because the laptop's basically working pretty hard to work that out. Remember, at this point, this is only like a 39, 40 second clip. So now that we've got our 4 clips, it still looks kind of dull, even with 2 of them reversed. So we go to colour, and we select one of our clips. Now obviously matrix green is pretty much matrix green regardless, but what if you didn't want it matrix green? Well, that's simple. You can use the colour correction under the colour tab, as you see me click on, and we can change that. Right, so the first one I would like to be blue, so I increase the blue and then decrease the rest, and this should slowly become blue. That purple's quite nice, remember that one. Okay, but that's a kind of bluey purple, so what we can do is we can increase the blue under the red green output. That made it black, so we're trying to find somewhere in between. Gives us a nice blue. How about that? So as you can see, what I've basically done here is I've increased the blue under the blue output, and I've increased the green slightly, and basically taken away everything else. Okay, so we've got a blue one. Move on to the next one. And what colour shall we make this? Shall we make this one red? So if we increase all the reds. Interesting, it seems that there's gaps at the side there. I might need to resize those a little. There's a nice red. Okay, and go over here. How did we get that purple? I think it was this. We'll make this one purple. Pinky purple. Halfway there. There we go, there's purple. Okay. And we'll make this one yellow, maybe. How do you make yellow? It's red and green, I think. Oh. A bit of blue. Down. And there we go, we've got yellow. So as you see, I've got the same clip 4 different times, but 4 completely different outputs. And I can zoom in, and as you can see, the purple overlaps here a little, and there's a gap between yellow and red. There seems to be a gap at this side of the screen too, here. Okay, so we're going to have to investigate that. That's a possibility due to the fact I've not moved these all the way across. So I shall just move this slightly and then stretch it out. Oh, lag's fighting me a lot. And then for the red one, okay, I can jump back over the colour and check it. Oh, that looks more full screen, and the yellow has to come up a little. I'll jump back. Select our yellow, and I can literally, oh, Spike hitting the keyboard. Spike now holding the keyboard, and I can literally just lift that slightly. Okay. Now you can change your zoom up here to double check it as well. Oh, so I need to Control Z that. No, Control Z that. Okay, I think the lag's fighting me at that point too much. So if I jump back out, it still has to come up a little. Like so. And go back over here. That's looking better. Blue and the purple might need moved over to the opposite side, meaning they need to moved a little bit closer to the left. Okay, so let's say we're happy with that. It doesn't really tell you my channel name. There's no information on there. It's just 4 matrix style updates. I can't scroll up and down easily. It keeps jumping. I'll try that. Okay. So we need to add something that actually identifies it as myself. So I'm going to go back to my media, and I'm going to go to my folder where I have my channel logo. And I'm going to drag that in. Go back to my edit panel, and we now have my watermark logo. I need to add a new track. The fact that it won't let me use that scroll there is actually quite annoying. Okay, and I'm going to drag that in. And then I'm going to drag it across the whole video. Okay. So you can now see that I have my logo displayed, but it's a bit dull, really, even with the colours. So what I'll do is I will move my logo across. I think that's about 5 seconds in, and I will stop at about 5 seconds early. Well, in fact 10 seconds. I'll do. Okay, so now if I play, my PC struggles. But my logo comes in. But I don't really just want it to fall in like that. I want it to fade in. So these little dots in the top corner, I'm going to grab one of them. I'm going to have it fade in for 2.5 seconds ish. So 2:25. And I'm going to have it fade out for the same ish. That was actually quite well done. So now if I play it, okay, because I'm dropping frames, that didn't look too good, right? But again, that's why we test things in post as well. So pause that. But now we're sitting with a 30-second logo, 40-second logo, and it really should only be maybe 10 seconds, 15 at most. So we have to shrink that down. So we go back down to video 1, and we right click that. We go to real-time controls. We click on it, change speed. We change that to, if it's 40 seconds, we're on 10 seconds, 400 should be good. Okay, and then we do that for the rest. For some reason when I try to select multiples at the same time, it doesn't allow me to do that. Now we need to change the speed here. In fact, we don't use real-time controls for this, we'll use change clip speed. It's at -100, and we need to change that to -400. Okay, right, so we now have roughly 10 seconds of intro, but it's still leaving our logo hanging there. So what we have to do is grab our logo, shrink it down a bit. I have to zoom in a bit. Okay, maybe not quite that far, Davey. And then drag it back in, give it a couple of seconds intro, drag it back there. Okay, and because it's been shorter, we'll change this to just over a second, so 1 second 15. Okay, so we should now have roughly 10 seconds of footage. With our logo fading in. And then our logo fading out. Like so. Okay. I'm dropping too many frames for that to look the way it's supposed to. However, once we export it, we'll find out whether or not it actually looks the way it's supposed to. Now obviously I just took 4 clips, exactly the same, a little bit of colour correction, and added my logo. You can add your Twitter feed, you can add when to subscribe or request to like, comment and share, whatever. But what I might do is I might actually expand this tutorial in the future, because this was literally really nice and quick and easy to show you that nice looking intros don't necessarily cost a lot of money or a lot of time. Like anything else, now that we've got our intro created, we would go to deliver. We would deliver it to YouTube in 1080. I export an MP4, and obviously 1920 by 1080. Because it's for YouTube, you click add to render queue. It'll ask me where to store it. My laptop's seriously dying right now, you should hear the fans. You might actually be able to. Add new folder, IT Snip Intro Tutorial. Try that again. I was wondering why my caps lock is on. Spike's turned it on. Click OK. And click OK again. And then we can start the render. So let's see how quickly this renders, shall we? Okay, so that 40 seconds of footage reduced to 10 seconds of footage took 1 minute to render because of the changes that we made with the colour correction, the fade in, fade outs, the speed, and obviously reversing 2 parts of the clip. So I'll now stop this video and I will paste in the finished result and you can see what you think. You can let me know in the comments. Well, that was my tutorial on how to recreate my intro, or a variation thereof, in DaVinci Resolve, and I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. I dare say that this is one of the tutorials that if I get some good feedback on, I'll actually expand on and show you different things that you can actually do to improve it, to add more items to it, and to make it more engaging for your fans. If you liked this video, give it a like. If you disliked this video, give it a dislike too. If you get feedback on this or any other videos or suggestions for videos you believe we should do in the future, then please let us know in the comments below. And most of all, thank you for watching.